clear. It means clarity. It means understanding. It means that you're illuminating. It means when people see you, they're saying you're glowing. Because see, you're not being moved by what you're dealing with. Come on here. Because even though I can be going through something right now, but I choose to be happy. What am I doing now? I'm taking God at His word. See, that's what God is looking for. That you're saying that even though I don't feel like it, but God, I choose to believe your word over what I see. Come on here. Even though that, Father, I don't like this situation that I'm in, but I thank you that you have delivered me out of darkness and brought me into the light. See, because when you begin to operate in light, what you're doing is you're telling God, I want you to deal with these systems of darkness in me. Turn to Ezekiel 8. And see, God said these lies, I want to show you that it ain't just come from me. He said this is what's going on in the church, and we've been lying to ourselves. When you look at Ezekiel 8, look at verse 12. He said, then said he to me, Son of man, have you seen what the elders of the house of Israel do in the dark? He's talking about the church folk. Did what they do in the dark. Every man in his secret chambers of idol pictures. For they say, the Lord does not see us. The Lord has forsaken the land. He also said to me, yet again, you shall see greater abominations which they are committed. He said in verse 14, then he brought me to the entrance of the north gate of the Lord's house. And behold, there sat women weeping for Tammuz, a Babylonian god who was supposed to die annually and substantially be resurrected. When I looked at that, in other words, he said behind the scene, the church people are praying. And when I looked up that God Tammuz, it means where it's a God that sprout out life. He said that the people in the church, they come to church in the daylight, but at home they speaking negative things out their mouth, giving life to darkness. They speaking evil out their mouth. They thinking negative thoughts with their mind, giving life to the things of the demonic realm and not life to the things of God. See, that's what he was talking about in the church. He told him, he said, look through the hole, because he had him to look through the temple. This is what the priests and that people they worshiping God, and then when they finish worshiping God, then they go home, they go into their bedroom and they start thinking and speaking evil, giving life to darkness. How do you know they're giving life to darkness? Because they dark. They dark. What you mean they dark? It's a shadow of darkness over them. They angry, they moody, they different. They're not the same. See, we got to understand our light. That's what that little song said, this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. Because when you got the word in you, it's going to shine. And see, that's what God is saying. This is what has invaded the church. We as a body of believers, where we have allowed misery, we have allowed ignorance, we have let darkness and destruction to come in and make us feel like we got a right to feel the way that we feel. And that's a spirit of pride. That's a spirit of Lucifer. You don't have a right to feel the way that you feel. Because Jesus paid it. And so what makes it so crucial is, even though Jesus paid it, but he can't do nothing until Shanyada say, Jesus paid the price for me. She got to see it for herself. And she got to see what I'm wrong. And you paid the price for me. And you the only way that I'm going to get this thing right. Because if she don't have a revelation of who God is, all she doing is speaking the scriptures. See, if you want to get close to God, you got to have a revelation of who he is. How can you have a revelation of God? He illuminates in his word. That's why the Bible says the word is a light unto my feet, it's a lamp unto my path. So if I could be sick, but when I read the word, when he said healing is my portion, it began to glow and I can pick up that healing. And I begin to say, I'm going to hold on to this healing until it manifests in my life. So if I'm walking in a place of darkness and he said that he died that I can be free, so I'm going to hold on to his salvation and say I'm coming out. See, no longer could we just pray, but we got to begin to put things practical, and we got to deal with these lies. Because see, this is what God is saying, that we as in the body of Christ, we got to stop talking about it's the devil. It ain't the devil, it's you. The devil can't go up against your will. Right. We keep talking about the devil. All of this is not the devil. This is you. You got to deal with you. That's one of the fruit of the spirit is self-control. The enemy can't fight you unless you open up the door. And if you open up the door and you tell him, come on in and drive however you want, he's going to come in. So we got to stop talking about it's the devil, it's the enemy. No, all of this is not the enemy. This is us. The enemy don't have all this control we trying to make him have. Because the moment that you tell the devil, no more, I'm not going to let you use my body. Because you got to understand, just like how God say, if you're going to display me on earth, the enemy saying, I need to use your body to be displayed on earth. And if God ain't be glorified, you may say, well, this is me. Well, if it's you, that means that's the devil. It's just two people in operation. Either the God or the devil. And see, we got to take responsibilities for these lies. And we got to understand that God is not pleased with us. He's not pleased with us. Let's turn to Psalms 94 and 11. When you look at Psalms 94, because see, this is what we got to deal with that spirit in us that make us think that we just so important. This is what God says in Psalms 94 and 11. He says, the Lord knows the thoughts of man, that they are vain, empty, and futile, only a breath. So we caught up on our thoughts, and God said, your thought ain't nothing but, it's vain. It ain't nothing but a breath. I can take it away like that. And we don't made ourselves, well, my feelings are important. No. You got to dethrone yourself. Let's look at Isaiah 5 and 20. When you look at Isaiah 5 and 20, he said, woe to those who call evil good and good evil, who put darkness for light and light for darkness, who put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Woe to those who are wise in their own eyes and prudent and shrewd in their own sight. See, we're judging ourselves by ourselves. No, we're supposed to judge ourselves according to the word. Because every time I look up at the word, it shows me where I don't come short. Because if I look at myself, it ain't that bad. That's what we'll say. But when I look at myself according to the word, I got to do better. And see, this is what he's saying. We got to deal with the lies that we've been believing.